And hello, and welcome back to Chaos Child. Last time, some freaky stuff happened that I'm not entirely sure what actually happened for. I guess we'll see. Particularly the eye-opening part. I'm not sure if that was just the game trying to freak me out or if that really was just his delusion. It feels like that's the most likely explanation. But, yeah. Oh. You okay there, Takuru?
まだアップしてから24時間も経ってないけどさ。おい、同じ渋谷タグで素人が適当に特集した連続不審火の動画は100超えてるぞ。
Oh no. How long has it been up?
つか、オカルト板の噂まとめ動画なんて3000超えてんじゃん。
How long has it been up?
渋谷で生活していると渋谷自身で死んだ者の霊が取り付き不思議な力が手に入る。こんなので3000？
Who knows? Maybe it's true. It's about as thrown at the wall as a lot of my theories at the moment. There's some semblance of supernatural power going on. We know that, but we don't know enough. Okay, so. We've seen 3 supernatural powers, right? The ability to predict the future, and there might be elements of that we're sort of obfuscated on. 2, the ability to influence people's appreciation of stuff. And 3, what seems to be some method of viewing the world like a camera, but to digital technology too, while also having the ability, quote-unquote, to kill someone via it, which would presumably be influenced like the last one. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a connecting pattern outside of the mind, which is a very vague thing to go off of.
おい、聞いてんのか?
No, and I'm going to continue to not listen. I don't know. The one thing that comes to mind, I guess, just talking out loud about this, is maybe the first one has more going on than meets the eye. That's a pun, unintentional, but maybe there's something. Maybe he wasn't really predicting the future. Maybe he was influencing people to believe he was predicting the future, or believe he had predicted the future. I'm not sure how that would work, but in terms of getting people to get past the obvious contradictions when you're not actually right about it. But if you take that maybe kind of, then you have sort of the closest connecting pattern is influencing people, right? Which still isn't very helpful. Oh, what? Oh, right, listening. Forgot about that. I don't feel well. Tried my hardest to avoid looking at it directly, but screwed up.
そんな気持ち悪いか? このシール。
Why haven't you... Is it still there? Why did you put it up?
気持ち悪いだろ。
そりゃ気持ちのいいデザインじゃないけどな。
お前は日頃からグロ画像とか見慣れてるからだろ。
All the time. You maniac.
いや、それとは関係ないだろ
う。Well, it might not help you stomach it, but it might help your, for lack of a better term, gag reflex to it. Ito's Pokecom was displaying the news video we'd made and uploaded to Nikonia last night. The one about the sumo stickers. The thumbnail was a close-up of that sticker. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Okay, well, I'm gonna... No, I don't like it. Still don't like it. It's gotta be his... Damn it, calm down. It was just a hallucination. You imagined it. So he's not sure. He looked again and it wasn't there.
ただいまってどうしたのタク
I assume he means the I wasn't there. Because I thought right before we went to that scene he was like, oh, I put one up. So it's not like the sticker wasn't there.
Yeah.
He is just dead, isn't he? I almost jumped out of my chair when the door opened. Turned around and saw Serica frowning. Yeah, I don't see any situation where this isn't...
なんでもない。なんだそれ。
I don't see any situation where this is negative. I don't see any interpretation of his current mind state.
ご飯だよ。買ってこいって言ったのタクじゃん。
She is right. I spent all of lunchtime going around the school, taking video of the preparations for the fair, so I could have this time to use as I pleased. I'd missed lunch. What a bane.
はい、しんちゃんはハムサンドとコーヒー牛乳。
あ、サンキュー。
タクはカロリーブロックとマウンテンビュー。よく飽きないね。
Stop hassling me about it.
栄養バランスを考えたらこれが一番効率がいいんだ。
Admittedly, he is actually calming down a lot throughout this conversation. Enough so that I'd almost imagine that his mind would be taken off of it.
焼きそばと酒おにぎりとクリームパンと
If I haven't said it before, my intention always on a first playthrough is to make decisions, regardless of what it results in, based on what makes sense logically in my mind for sort of role-playing the characters and whatnot. It's not really... I'm not trying to make choices to achieve anything. I'm just thinking, if I put myself in their shoes, what would I do relative to how the choice system works, which in this case is basically optimism to pessimism is sort of the scale that I'm seeing it.
チョココロネとアンパンとグレープフルーツが私で
相変わらず燃費悪いな。女子だろ。
女子だよ。
Why? Don't make that why are you asking face at me.
花ちゃん、はいロリポップ。円数中か。花ちゃん、はいこれ。ん？チャットしてるの？ん？なに隠さないでよ。レアアイテムでも出た？
A strange kind of grappling match began as Kazuki tried to hide the screen and Serica tried to see it.
なんだろうな。
That sound. That doesn't sound like grappling. That sounds like a very weirdly rhythm. It sounds like someone's falling down a hill. That's what it sounds like. It's someone's falling down the hill and they place the microphone near it.
いや、俺ら新聞部って男に女3通、それなりにそれなりな男女比じゃん。
Where did that come from?
しかしちっともリア充集がしないのはなぜだ。あんな風に女子がふざけ合ってれば。
わかった。じゃあスルメあげる。
They're still falling down the hill.
もう少しこっちが色気に当てられてドキドキしてもいいはずなのに。
ちょっと待て。僕はリア充だって言ってるだろ。もう一席。
Oh my god, shut up.
それももういい。つうか尾上。副部長は？
あ、
Serica froze.
今日も来ないと思う。文化祭の準備が忙しそうだし。それになんかのんちゃんこの間から変なんだよね。元気ないんだ。
I wonder what's wrong, she whispered. By lately, she probably meant since after Nono met Arimura. Wait, did I say Nono? Huh. Is he referring to her as that in his head now? Huh. I thought he had referred to her as Kurisu, like, constantly. It was true that after that, she'd given up on telling me not to follow the case. Either way, thanks to that, I've been able to focus on the case without being interrupted. Since she met Arimura, huh?
よし、食べながらでいい。始めよう、和樹。
I mean, the easy explanation there would be that, she saw that the case was way too close to home for her to potentially dissuade someone who had a legitimate interest in following it. In that she realized the only real hope to stop them was to just try to disassociate them from it for a while and have them do other stuff, and then they'll have moved on. But with that being around... Oh yeah, I wasn't listening either.
点数、一旦落ちてもらっていいか？情報を整理するから。
She may have been waiting for something to spawn, or maybe she's just at a good stopping point. She quit the game with much less cajoling than I expected. She started to print out data from the PC. Now, then, there's a lot of new information, but I spent so much time making the video that the board was the same as it always had been. It was time to go over it. First, I should start with what I cannot put on the map.
右のスペースが空いてるな。よし。まずそっちにチューブラリンな懸案事項を貼り付けよう。
チューブラリン？
ほら、例の動画とか。
そうか。よし、そんなら。
He just forced himself to swallow what he's eating.
関わりがあるかもしれない動画は全部ここに貼っちゃおうぜ。
Yeah, that's the way to go.
じゃあ、まとめウィキに突然貼られた動画は、ラブホテルの中を外から撮ったやつだから。
Oh, want me to... It just pops up on it. That was... Taken from the outside. Okay, yeah, this one.
で、その概要が、この動画のせいなんだよな。
That, I had that weird hallucination. Just plain old wipe. Why did it seem so strange? Because there was a massive curvature towards it that you never see in a wipe? It was super unsubtle with that, too. What's wrong with you? I assume her mouth is full. Just remember to clean up.
いいから、とりあえずお前は聞いてろよ。
Just remember to clean up. Where was I?
伊藤、この動画、結局まとめウィキに貼り付けた人間って捕まって。
ああ、ネットじゃ週末はかなり祭りになったけどな。テレビでも報道されてたから。
That's right. People on the internet like to make fun of the TV and newspapers, but the biggest cause of online, quote, festivals was mainstream media attention. Online festivals. I've never heard that termed for anything.
でも、それに関しての続報が、つまり燃料がない。そのまま丸3日、下火気味か？
I mean, I can guess what it means, but still.
事件が事件なだけにそういっぺんには離れてないけど、あと週末に更新が炎上してたろ？
Oh no, I didn't know what he meant.
あれな。
更新は復興事業の中心となった企業だろ？ 復興の時に街中に張り巡らされた監視カメラの設置にも噛んでるらしくてさ、それにプライバシーを侵害されたっていう人がイチャモンつけて、それについて後進の対応者が横柄な態度を取ったとかなんとかで、確か今朝提訴まで行ったはず。
By who?
そうそう、よくある話だよ。
Does it?
は
Japan does have some, at least from my American perspective, a bit of weird laws relative to that sort of stuff. Now that we don't have weird laws too.
んで、そっちにちょっと人が流れてる感じがある。
So you're saying that it's changing the topic? Or are you saying that it's somehow being connected? Because this guy worked there. I see, so that was it.
動画の炎上に関しては、いたずらとか捏造っていうやつが出てきて、それを主流派が潰している最中。
So self-feeding then. Either way, without fresh fuel, it would eventually have to go out.
まあいたずらや捏造っていうやつの気持ちもわからなくはないけど。
But after having been there, I knew it wasn't. That's right. I should put up the video of the room too.
カズキ、ラブホテルの動画適当に切り出してくれるか？
Okay, that's all.
あと一応これもな。
Our video? Sure, why not? But why was he putting that up there?
なんだよ。
別に新聞部の動画は貼らなくても。
ほらよ、気持ち悪いもん、ほれ。
Creepy? See, even the self-proclaimed girl says so.
何が関係してくるかわかんないだろ。それにこのシールは事件の鍵かもしれないんだろ。
Then just put up the stickers. Ah,
それはそうかもしれないけど。
or a picture of the stickers.
あのな、君悪がりすぎだっつうの。ほら、シールもまとめるぞ。
Damn it. You can only say that because you haven't seen it with its eye open. Well, had it actually open.
ったく、女子かよ。
男子だ。
Debatable. Fine, fine. There are a lot of Sumo stickers in the other images anyways. I shouldn't let it bother me. I mean, I did not first interpret him as being caught up on that, but okay. But I was going to avoid looking at them directly too much.
じゃあシールに関してこれまでにまとめた事件を付け出したけど。
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? If it's like one of those things where it's like the image of it is all you need for the supernatural ability to work there. Like they're putting up stickers, but when people take like pictures of this, what if they can use it like in that there? What if they can see from that? What if they can see from whatever? They just need one. Oh, is that the oh, that's the big wall of them, isn't it?
こっちみんなの現場が見える位置にあった力士シールの引きの画像は。
That one. See, these are fine if this is actual information that we've been focusing on.
それは
The problem with the first one that it was like you either were being assumed to have played the first game, which clearly this isn't made outside of that with that assumption that you had to have played it, or you were trying to base everything on a bunch of things that I think it was like twice you had them thrown at you in like a minute maybe, really quickly without much information. And it wasn't even just like, well, did you know anything about the case? No, it was, can you associate this picture, specifically this picture, with a name, basically? I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where it's asking you to do one of the least intuitive parts of understanding something.
力士シールが貼られていたところの引きの画像。
いや、そりゃ見ればわかる。それがどうかしたのか。
うん、まあ 歴史シールを見つけた時から少し気になってたんだけど、どうやって貼ったんだ？これ4階だぞ、ここ。
窓を開けて乗り出せば届くんじゃねえの？
Oh, I don't remember. It does look like there's a window near there. But windows like that don't tend to, let's say, open.
ここの窓ははめ殺し。
そうか。お前言ったんだもんな、人から。
だから人からじゃない。歌ってない。
他の現場はどうなってる
Ito ignored my protest and motioned for me to continue. Damn it, it wasn't karaoke alone.
次は音漏れたんか。で、そうか。ここはまだ歴史シールの画像を貼ってなかった。
So, how could you get it up there? Because if you got it up there physically, either you have to be doing it in like just the dead of night, which, looking at that previous one, I'm guessing not, because it's a pretty urban area. Urban areas tend to be pretty active even during the night. It would be hard to do it, let's say, stealthily, without attracting attention. Then again, a lot of this shit gets put up, right? Without anyone noticing. No one's ever been caught putting it up. No one's even... they've never mentioned anything about anyone being found putting them up, so I think the safe assumption is you can say they're doing something supernatural to put them up. Maybe. I assume we're basically dealing with like a mini syndicate of people with supernatural powers. I wouldn't be surprised if like the girl in the lab coat, if her organization was legitimately just the people doing this shit, right? And then, I could just imagine they're doing it. They're getting these people killed or something like that. And then they probably, you know, also go and pretend to be the solution. That sort of thing. When I got to the scene 2 days ago on Sunday, I found a sticker on the nearby telephone pole, just like I'd expected.
そのアップの画像は新聞部の動画にも使ったやつだから。
Yeah. It's either that or I'm misinterpreting the other one. Really was creepy up close. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
で、その引きの画像が。
Oh, was that Oh, this is the only one with a thing, isn't it? What's that one below there? It is fairly high up. Okay. Well, thank you for correcting me right away and just forcing me back to it.
で、その引きの画像が。
I don't see a telephone pole in there. I guess it has closer lighting.
ここは貼ろうと思えば誰でも貼れるよな。
That's fine. Where is it? Oh, is it that thing on the right? Is it? I don't know. I can't really tell. When I saw that in the blur, I thought that was like the blur of like a police officer standing. Like it does sort of look like that. Like the head, which I guess that must be the sticker. Then I thought this like little blur here of white was like a hand, and then you can sort of see a little bit out there, and then there's a like because of the head, it's like there's a cutoff point, and that looks like it's part of the building back there. I guess that's, yeah, I still don't really see it that clearly.
だけど、回転デッドの歴史シールの引きの画像は。
I mean, it literally can only be this one. I thought that was it, but calling it far range.
これも貼られていたのは外壁だ。窓はあるけど、とても届く距離じゃない。
そう？長い棒の先っぽとかにくっつけてピタンってやればいけそうじゃない？
That would attract a shit ton of attention, too. Long poles. Just carrying that around in the first place would get you attention.
いや、そりゃ届くだろうけど、でもカラオケボックスの方は無理だろう。
ギブ。
That's not what a burp sounds like. That wasn't the answer I was looking for.
ちょっと食べ過ぎた。長い棒でなら届くんじゃない？
That's what she said.
んなことしてたら一発でバレるだろ。
Let's see you doing with the other long pole.
じゃあビルの清掃員さんみたいにしてとか。
First the long pole and then that. That might work on the other one. That would definitely attract less attention.
まあそれはありえるか。
I don't know, this shit is just so extensive that I would be hard-pressed to believe that they'd be going to such trouble for these specific ones. I mean, it could be a situation where they're putting up them in all other places in order to confuse and make them seem like non-entities where they are important. And we'll go to the trouble. Like, okay. You know what data we really need? We need data on just generally where these are placed. We need to walk around all Shibuya, mark how often we find ones in completely ridiculous places that you'd have to go way out of your way to put up. That's what we should do. That would be a fantastic data point and would give us a lot of logical insight as to whether this is just something that's happening constantly with these going up, or if it's something more specific to these.
どうした？
なんていうか、こんだけ異常な事件なのに棒の先っぽにくっつけてとか清掃員みたいにっていうのはロープを伝ってか？
Well, it is a big building with big windows. I assume they have window cleaners that come up with like those, you know the things, the like little platforms they have on the side of buildings.
まあとにかくそういうマットな手段で力シールを貼ってる犯人の姿っていうのが想像できなくて。
Well, that's what the guy who put them up is the same one behind all the deaths.
いや犯人が貼ってるかどうかはわからないだろう。つか直接的な犯人なんているのか？3件とも今のところ警察は自殺って発表してるんだぞ。
でもこっちみんなの事件の直前部屋に訪ねてきた何者かを警察は追ってもいるんだろう。
And Nickelodeon. Okay. Oh no, everyone disappeared. I still felt like there was someone on the other side of that door.
俺は事件の裏側を知ってる何者かのメッセージな気がするけどな。
So if we're going to assume... Okay, so I'm going to say that probably the face thing probably doesn't have anything to do with the knocking. Because we're talking about this ability of, like, messing with people's heads in some capacity. I mean, you sort of have to be able to influence people in the first place to cause these suicides. It's all fucked up. We saw it sort of in the first one. We got an idea of maybe how it could work, right? Basically, it's almost like their entire perception of reality just shifted. Which is really weird, isn't it? It's like, oh, because like the guy went from like, who the fuck are these people to, yeah, I've known these people forever. I was expecting them. That sort of thing. And then he started talking about this whole thing that he never talked about before and didn't talk about after in terms of like working with them on stuff, which was the most interesting part. Which is the whole reason I said that thing about like parallel universes before, where it almost felt like it felt so distinct between the two, almost like it could be two different lives that the person had lived. But you could do that with memories too. You don't actually have to have different worlds. Maybe it's something like it's activating. And it was when he opened the door too, when he got like in that mood. So I guess my point being that I don't think it's the face that's actually... But then you had the whole thing about, oh, that could cause them to kill... You had the thing at the end of the chapter there, where it's like, I could kill him at any moment. So presuming it's the same as the other stuff, unless Takuru's been having some crazy shit going on in the background of his life, yeah, I don't... It probably isn't stuff that's actually going on. I'm just confusing myself. That's what happens when I just speculate randomly out loud instead of just like thinking about it in between episodes and taking notes. A message?
回転デッドの被害者である柿田が死ぬ直前にどういう状態であったかはわからないけど、仮に前の2件と同じように異常な精神状態にあったとしたら、それを生み出す何か、そうだな、薬物とかを3人とも服用してるとかで、その薬物の謎を知ってる人間がシールを貼ったとか。
何のために？
それは
But
わからんけど。
No, not but. It doesn't achieve anything. Oh, we knew about the drug, so we put up this thing that can take videos? So we can watch it? Oh, okay. You know what? That does sort of have a weird amount of sense. They weren't trying to help, they just wanted to watch. Oh, get me some popcorn. Watch this person die. What?
お前はどう思うんだよ。
There is a certain element to this where I'm assuming everyone has like rational goals. Like there's a certain amount of logic to them. But some people do just want to see the world burn, so you can't completely discount for that.
僕は
So what was the deal with those stickers around the crime scenes? Let me think.
力士シールを貼ること自体が目的だとか。
え？
バットメンは知ってるだろ。
Not unless we're talking about Batman. Never heard of Batmen before. Oh. So it is Batman, okay. It's just a really lazy, undone, a real lazy way to rename it.
あれでしょ？コウモリがでっかい鋼鉄の赤マント人間に変身して糸出して子供をさらっていくあれ。
That feels wrong. Wrong. Batman wasn't any of that. I'm just gonna say Batman. Batman wasn't any of that. Actually, I think that's about 5 or 6 different comics mixed together.
作中にジョーカーっていうまあ悪役がいて、彼は現場にトレードマークとしてトランプのジョーカーを残すことがあるんだ。残さない場合も彼自身がトランプのジョーカーのような顔をしているから、いずれの場合も現場にはジョーカーがいたという事実が残る。
そのジョーカーっていう人は何に変身して子供をさらうの？
What are you talking about?
なんだ？力士シールみたいな外見のやつが愉快犯的に3人を自殺に見せかけて殺して、力士シールをトレードマークとして貼ってるってか？
But the stickers are fucking everywhere. That's the freaking problem. Unless this isn't new either. That's another important part of it. I was about to say, unless there's a lot of people dying, and a lot of the stickers are going up, and no one's noticing, and then obviously people would notice if that many people died. But then again, then I thought, well, actually, maybe someone's taking credit for the earthquake then? Then I thought, wait, no. These were going up prior last time, even. And they would have made a bigger deal about a bunch of people dying versus this, like, serial killer's case. They would have made a big deal about that in terms of what happened previously.
いや、例えばだぞ。
じゃあなんで直接死体の上に力士シールを置かないんだよ。
だから例えばだって。
そもそもなんでニュージェネレーションの狂気と同じ日付で事件が起こってるんだ？
それこそ僕にわかるわけないだろ。
I tried to calm Ito down. I don't know why he's getting so mad.
とにかく今ある情報をまとめちゃおう。話はそれから。
Here's the thing. Like stuff like this works best when you have multiple people just spitballing ideas, right? You start to try to establish some ideas. Maybe it's wrong, but there's typically some insight there that you can pull from, right? Some ideas that you might be able to jump board off of for other ideas, stuff like that. Eventually, you'll have leads that you can, go from. You don't just start like, why is this wrong? Why does this have to be wrong? You can't take the attitude, why do we ignore this? You need to think, maybe it's wrong, probably wrong, but what can we take from this idea?
だな。力士シールだったか。
うん。一つ大きな動きがあったから。壁一面に貼られていた力士シールの場所は渋谷のガード下だから。で、その画像が。
Oh, it doesn't even force me to pick. Goody.
で、その概要が。
Sometime between late night on the 2nd.
改めて見ると不気味だな。ここまで大量に貼られたことって過去にあったのか？
Everything unknown, everything unknown. Never in these numbers. Huh. So it's never been in this sort of numbers. So if you do want to take the approach of, hey, maybe it's a calling card in some capacity, or you take the idea of maybe each individual one represents a death, the implication is very high there. You can't necessarily assume that it's a death. Oh my goodness, what if... Ooh. What if it's not a death that has happened? What if it's death that's going to happen? Ooh. Ooh, that's a fun idea, isn't it? Maybe it's literally sort of like a curse in a way. Like, you put it up, it means the person, like, the person who can see it, there's going to be someone who can see it, who will die. Obviously, there's some semblance of control here by whoever has them. But what if, like, if you're saying that it might be a calling card in some capacity, the only thing that sort of makes sense to me is that maybe it's something that means a death is going to happen, which makes that place all the more ominous.
過去の力士シールの数のピークは地震前の2009年だけど、その時でもこんなに一箇所に貼られたことはなかったと思う。だよな。
うん、こんなのは見たことない。
So not even before the earthquake did we have anything like this. Okay, I'd probably back off on the whole it means death is coming if you didn't have anything like this for the earthquake coming up. Then again, I wonder how many deaths would have been spread out during that, or if there actually would have been a lot in a small area.
なんで知ってんだ？
Because, as Erica said as she looked at me.
昔タクと調べたことあるもん。
は？
一つ一つ渋谷に貼られてるやつね、タク。
Really? How many were there?
ああ、まあちょこっとな。
That was part of my dark history. Okay, how are we going to define dark history? How are we going to define dark history? Okay, just embarrassing part of your past. Okay. Its origin can be found in a certain famous giant robot anime. There are a lot of potential options for that, and I don't actually know.
結構がっつり調べたじゃん。大きな謎が隠されているって言って陰謀だって。
Hey, you idiot!
陰謀？
Don't look at me like that.
お前、2009年って小学6年だろ？そんな時から都市伝説マニアだったのか？
他にも調べたんだよ。くねくねとかアポカリプティックサウンドとか。
The squirmy, the apocalyptic sound. Interesting. Massive noise of unknown origin that's been heard all over the world. It's unknown where it first appeared, but around the year 2011, videos of the sound began to be found, uploaded to the internet. Some much recorded in Tokyo. Many of these videos contain a powerful low-pitch echoing noise, like two pieces of heavy made of scraping. This feels so easy to fake. The urban legend that spread via the internet beginning in 2003. Most variations of this story involve people who saw something squirmy, who later experienced strange incidents. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that sounds ridiculous too. Are those different names for actual conspiracies out there? Both of those sound completely ridiculous. And completely like they're designed so people can sort of fill in the blanks and with whatever they see if they want to believe it's true, basically.
とにかくだな。これを貼った人間はまだ捕まっていない。
で、小学6年の時にすでにかわいそうだった宮代くんの調査によると。
Yep. What do you mean, sad little boy?
そもそも力士シールを生み出した人間が誰かとか、その目的とかっていうのは分かってないんだな。
そうだよ。
じゃあ場合によってはその人間が一連の事件に関与している可能性もある。
可能性はあると思う。
I mean, you could say a lot of people might be involved. So, here's the thing about the sumo stickers. How... It's obviously not a coincidence that they're there. We know some shit's going on. The game's basically told us. But if you're thinking of it from their perspective, there's so many of these, right? How do you logically deduce that it's not just a coincidence? I guess their whole logic is once it happens twice, it can't be a coincidence, which is sort of bullshit in some way. But still, if there's enough of them, then eventually you have to ask, is it just because they're everywhere? Like, if someone got killed somewhere, is there like a fairly decent chance there would be one somewhere that could potentially be able to be within eye line of it happening to some capacity? And maybe that's the point. They're so fucking frequent, they're just everywhere. Like, maybe these weren't planned out or anything. Maybe they weren't put there specifically to see in it. Maybe they're just so frequent, there's always one that they're typically able to use. Or, better yet, maybe if they're able to influence via them, it isn't that they put them up to view this thing they set up in there, it's that they decide to do it there because they had access to them via it, because they just happen to be within all that of everything, right? And then you go back to the whole leaky noise thing, where I don't think they ever showed if... I'd be wondering if I went back to that background that they had for that dressing room and whatnot, if I could see one there. But that was like a closed room. Was there even windows there? It didn't seem like it. Like, eventually there was one later that was at the place, but that was long after, like, shit had started, right? Maybe she opened the door and there's one across the way from there. So it just felt like they had to be involved.
現状出揃っている力士シールはこれだけだよな。
あ
あ。じゃあ今後の力士シールに関する方針だけど、この壁一面に貼られた力士シールのところに監視カメラを設置しようと思う。
は？
この力士シール気になるんだ。こんなに一度にシールが貼られたことがなかったっていうのもあるんだけど。
I guess I need a picture.
和樹和樹
You have an idea? Oh, no, she's back. She's too busy playing ESO2 to listen.
和樹新聞部の動画に使った街中の歴史シール切り出してくれるか。
で
これが街中に貼ってあった歴史シール。さっきの壁一面に貼られた歴史シールと見比べてくれ。
I wasn't gonna look myself. Is it just go? I mean, I feel like every time I look at these, there's like something that looks like a variation in terms of the design. But I think I'm just seeing graffiti or marks and the different directions that I'm seeing them from. When I realized this in my room yesterday, I've been staring at them so long, I literally felt like I was about to throw up.
Huh? いや、だから力士シールだろ。
じゃあこれまでの事件現場のやつとも。
I mean, no graffiti. Are you saying because they're new, they haven't had graffiti put on them, or they're not worn?
Oh.
So he saw it too.
何？どうしたの？
デザインが違う。
Is it? Is it really? I feel like I keep killing myself over noticing that every time I see one of these, like, slightly different. Like, this isn't this episode. This is like last episode. I've been feeling like this since. Ito kept his eyes locked on the image. Is it the chin? Surprised? I'm not a sad little boy after all, am I? Okay, time for a lecture.
歴史シールにはいろんなデザインがある。これはシールが発見された当初からそうだったんだ。
Before the earthquake previously.
ヒゲがあるのとか泣いてるのとか頭部が異常に膨らんでるのとか、まあとにかくいろいろ。
I mean, a lot of the time when I see some of them have beards or crying, that looks like someone graffitied them, not like it's part of a design change. The swollen head thing I get though. That would be harder to graffiti.
このせいでオリジナルの歴史シールっていうのはどれかわからなくなってるんだ。講義で見ればグラフィティに属するこういう行為は模倣犯が大量に発生するからこうなるケースが多いんだけど、当事者たち以外にはどれが模倣犯の仕業でどれが最初に貼った人間の仕業かはわからない。でも今回の場合、事件現場と壁一面に貼られた歴史シールのデザインは完全に一致してるんだ。
じゃあ現場に貼ったやつとこの壁一面に貼ったやつは同一人物？
いや、それはわからない。偶然同じだけかもしれない。街中に貼られていた単独の歴史シールの中にも現場と同じデザインの歴史シールはあったから。
I don't know what identifies it as the same design then. Seriously, I'm seeing stuff that looks like someone took a, like, Sharpie and drew on them rather than being part of the original design, and they seem like they're portraying that as just different designs, so I don't know.
なんだよ、それじゃあ。
でも過去に例がないほど大量に貼られれば気になるだろう。もしも同一人物だとしたら次に事件が起こるのがこの場所だっていう可能性もある。
And we could get a video of it happening. It would be the biggest scoop if we could do that, and if we could get a video of it happening, that would be the biggest scoop imaginable
そ
for
れ
us.
はまあな。でもいいのか？
About what?
勝手に街中にカメラ設置してその映像を見るって、要は盗撮だろ。 せめて次のニュージェネの日付の10月10日付近まで待った方が明らかに部活の範疇じゃないだろう。
Yeah, that does seem like it would probably be pretty illegal.
クルスみたいなこと言うなよ。
Like for an extended period of time too? Like actual surveillance?
みたいに言ってんだよ。バレたらどうなるか。俺は嫌だからな、殺されるのは。
もうだからのんちゃんのことを怖がりすぎだってば。ねえ花ちゃん。
Oh, are you saying that you'll get killed by her? I thought you were saying getting killed by the person killing people.
ほら。
No, she's clearly not listening.
クルスなら大丈夫だろう。なんだか最近ガミガミ言ってこないし。
そうだけどよ。
Don't pussy out on me, man. I mean, it does seem like a bit of a stretch. Honestly, you also have to consider the... Shouldn't you go canvas around for others of the same design? Wouldn't that actually be the better idea? If I were thinking someone's putting this shit up on purpose related to this crime, and if I was the person... If I saw just a shit ton of them get put up, like grabbing headlines, being this big massive thing, wouldn't my first reaction be not that this is related to the case, but this feels like an intentional distraction? Like, I wouldn't want to... Like, maybe you put up the camera and you do the surveilling. There, maybe you do that, but you also, at the very least, go around and look for other things of a similar design. Because again, it feels like a distraction. But the idea that it is a distraction does suggest that you're on the right track, though, right?
チャンスなんだよ。手がかりが力士シールしかなくて、そのシールの中に気になるところがある。最高の結果になれば先頭を打てて犯人の目星がつく。しかも警察より先に。最悪でも無駄骨だったで終わりだろ。
Or get arrested, because that still sounds sort of illegal. I don't know for sure, but like you said, invasion of privacy. So there can be some pretty strict laws on that sort of stuff. Still, Ito thought for a second about something. Probably Kurusu.
わかったよ。部長はお前だ。
He nodded in resignation. Alright.
現状でのボードを使っての情報整理はこんなところか。
おー、このボード初めてこんなに大きく使うね。
Zerka looked at all the papers pasted up on it.
確かにな。今までは別にきちんと整理するまでもないやつばっかりだったからな。
What? What happened?
Oh.
I'm just gonna imagine she's like a Dragoon in Final Fantasy XIV and she did a back jump and she fell off the edge. That's what I'm going to assume happened. Did I just hear her get upset? Did she like lose a roll for a rare item? Or get a kill stolen?
ああ、花ちゃんダメだよ。壁へこんじゃうよ。
There was a pretty big dent in it already, actually.
どうした？
Issa was still looking at the board. Was there something I'd forgotten to go over?
いや、さっき途中でいろいろ出たわかんないことだけどよ。なんでニュージェネの日付に合わせて事件が起こっているのかとか、なんで現場じゃなくて少し離れたところに力士シールがあるのかとか。
なんか分かったのか？
No, that's not it, Ito shook his head.
こうしてみれば案外そのおかげで俺ら先に進めてんなと思って。ニュージェネの日付は渋谷ニュースの K さんも気づいてたけど、現場の力士シールってまだ俺らしか気がついてないだろ。こんなこと前にあったか？
That's true, yeah.
チャンスってことだろ。
確かにそう思わないとそんな状況かもな。
Ito smiled as if he'd gotten over his doubts. Again, man, if you want to back out, don't do anything you're uncomfortable with.
でどうするカメラ。ブノはさすがにまずいからお前のでいいか。
ああ、前に自宅の防犯用に買って余っちゃった人感式のやつを持ってきてるから。それで仮に一旦10月10日まで撮影するとしてもバッテリーは持つ。
What could have those done? You literally had the homeless guy just bust in a little bit ago.
よし、じゃあ早速今から行くか。
あ、それなんだけど。
ん？
お前一人で行ってきてくれないか。
は？お前は？
有村さんにもう一度話を聞きに行く。昨日は力士シールと動画のアップでバタバタしてて無理だったから。
Ida looked surprised, then fell silent for a moment.
いや、そりゃ確かにあの子には聞きたいことはたくさんあるけどよ。でも先週生徒会室で会った時になんつうか有無を言わさぬ感じっつうか得体が知れないっつうか怖くなかったかあの子。
I could tell what Ida was trying to say. Arimuro Hine had been a cheerful girl, at least when she was talking to Kurusu. But then the second I brought up the Love Hotel incident, you're gonna die.
あなただったんですか？部屋に入ったっていううちの生徒は。
Everything about her changed. Her voice is flat and emotionless, telling me nothing about what she was really thinking. And yeah.
あなた殺されますよ。宮代拓先輩。
That is a good point that I wasn't really able to suss her motivations from her tone or anything like that.
お前あの時なんか言われたんだろあの子に。それがなんか関係あんのか？
いや、別に言われてないよ。
Ida's thoughts, on the other hand, were extremely easy to follow. He didn't believe a word I said.
まあいいさ。とにかくあの現場にいたのはお前たちなんだからな。
He must have come up with some probable answer that satisfied him.
でもお前一人で聞きに行けんのか？絶対挙取るだろ。
ああ、私もタクと行くよ。タク、まだ有村さんに慣れてないでしょ？
And have you gotten used to her? Shut up! I would just get a little nervous. It is my second time talking to her. It won't go that poorly. Probably.
なんだよ。
いや、しかしお前ら四六時中一緒にいるよな。
Oh, childhood friends thing? How did we meet up again? What the fuck happened with you, Sarika? What happened in your life that there's this whole element of my life with the orphanage and whatnot that you seem to have nothing to do with, to the point that you feel like such a tag-along in so many cases. I guess that's the best way to phrase it. You feel like you're there, but you're also so non-central to anything going on.
別に四六時中ってわけじゃないだろ。
Just she and I She and I had been friends for our whole lives.
へえ。
Our whole lives. Interesting phrasing. What are you trying to say?
それこそ挙取った流れで否定しないのがお前ららしいなと思っただけだ。お前本当にリア充じゃないわ。
Oh. What did you say?
んじゃあお前と尾上は有村さん担当な。
オッケー。
おい、ちょっと待て。僕は。
で、俺と和樹。
Stop backflipping with the freaking dragoon!
なんかいきなりやってきた敵キャラの群れにやられちゃったんだって。
Great! MPK. It's funny because I think a lot of these things have a lot more to do with like World of Warcraft. Monster player killer. An act of luring a monster to another player and causing the monster to attack and kill them. Oh, okay, no, I get that. But I've basically just played, seriously at least, as an MMO, Final Fantasy XIV, and it feels like a lot of that isn't there. So I'm actually not familiar with a lot of this, despite having put a ton of hours into at least one MMO throughout my life. No, wait a second.
どのみち、和樹は部室から出てまで部活動するやつじゃないだろう。
じゃあ俺がカメラ担当で。
オッケー。
行ってきます。
He says it so sadly, and Zarek is just like, okay.
いってらっしゃい。
You know, silently took the bag with the camera in it from me and said,
せちがれ。
With those mysterious words, he disappeared into the hallway.
しんちゃん、どうしたの？
わからん。
Da 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 da. Interesting. The phrase sumo sticker always seems strange to me. The face may look like a sumo wrestler, but it's actually not. It's a fat man. No, we don't even know if it's a man. It could be a woman. One only needs to look at the hairstyle to find proof of this. What? Wait. The hair is parted, not brushed back, which means it's not being tied into a top knot. Of course, there's some real sumo wrestlers who don't have enough hair to form a top knot, but they all brush their hair back. No sumo wrestler has stood in the ring with parted hair. What does that hair mean? Is it just some guy with parted hair? No, the hair, in fact, represents a temple. And in temple, of course, you find God. That might be a little... The sumo stickers save the world from destruction. Yeah, this might be a little bit of a leap in logic. 3 eyes, 2 overlapping faces should, of course, produce 4 eyes, which means that the number 3 is significant. I don't think the number 3 is significant. I think the fact that you have 1 eye through 2 faces is probably significant, right? There's probably some implication. Well, the implication could even be that you have a bunch of faces with combined eyes, so 1 view for maybe a bunch of different people, or all the sumo stickers connected to whoever they're connected to. That sort of thing. The 3rd eye is the eye of the mind. I mean, yeah, okay. Whoops. It's something. No, yeah, that makes some sense. Especially considering what we know since ancient time, 3rd eye has been used as a motif in conspiracy theories and urban legends. The eye that sees truth. The Senrigan. The Anjan Chakra. The eye of the pyramids. All these things represented having power beyond human understanding. And the word, the 3rd eye is God himself. Or just beyond human understanding. The eye of the pyramid, that symbol of the Freemasons, is also known as the all-seeing eye of God, or the eye of the Egyptian deity Horus. In other words, the eye God sits beneath the hair, his temple. Do you remember in 2012 when the world was supposed to end during the Mayan apocalypse? Yes, I do. That was stupid. But researchers had already proven the original date given for the Mayan apocalypse was an error. The correct date was 2015. Oh no. This date brings us to Egyptian mythology. According to the legend recorded in... Okay, I feel like we're getting into the, some ridiculous dumb stuff. Why does this date bring us to Egyptian mythology? According to the legend recorded in fresco in the Temple of Isis, the world sank into water in September of 2015. The goddess Isis is the mother of the sun goddess Horus. Do you understand now? No, there actually isn't logic there. You're a lot of logical leaps. You're very clearly stating your end conclusion, but you're just sort of vaguely connecting things. But why are they only appearing in Shibuya? Because the grace of God wants to protect Shibuya from the apocalypse. If you're reading this blog, you've already guessed what I'm about to say. Last month, in September 2015, the world was threatened by greater danger than any it had ever faced before. A massive solar storm caused electronics to crash all over the world, but especially in North America and Europe. Full month has passed, but only 50% of the damage has been fixed. Really? 50? That actually is massive. Okay. So why is Japan, the world's third largest economy, in particular Shibuya, one of its biggest cities, survived almost unscathed? Yes, because the eyes of God, the third eyes opened and created a powerful barrier. What defined barrier? And this is the truth. This is my message to all the people of Shibuya. I want you to understand this. The faces of the sumo stickers do not belong to a sumo wrestler. They are the symbol of God. They are God. You must not take them down. That would be blasphemy. It is already too long, so I'll go into details in my next entries. Here's the thing I always find hilarious about these. Especially considering what we're playing, they might have some points in here. I think the third eye thing is very interesting. The eye of the mind feels like the biggest takeaway from this. It's when you start getting into these old Mayan and Egyptian bullshit things, it's like... Where do you think they got the predictions? Like blood sacrifices? What were they doing that's so special that no one has been able to do since, basically? Whatever. An interesting perspective. How's that for... whatever, I don't care. Some creepy shit. How many people in the world actually believe in the Egyptian calendar apocalypse? Something that came up to explain why the Mayan apocalypse never happened. There are other supposed dates for the apocalypse after 2015. So the Mayan calendar apocalypse, that's the thing about it. It didn't predict the apocalypse, right? It just ended. Because they didn't have anything past that. Chances are, if they waited another 100 years and were still around, they would have just made more. Right? I'm pretty sure it just ended, right? Oh yeah, that's it. After 2015, it's going to be 2017, then 2020. Well, 2020, the world did end. So, you know, then 2030. Yeah, there's always something that you can sort of line up and be like, oh, something, something, something. And it's really just, you're just finding something that matches a pattern. You have a predetermined conclusion and you're matching a pattern. You're not really seeing some logic there, especially considering you don't know what's driving it in the first place. And you just said the whole Egyptian thing, the world would be sunk underwater. Yet your big thing for what happened was a solar flare? That's not sinking underwater. How many Japanese have a real understanding of what, quote, God actually is? Judy Sunflower. That seems like a nice person. It evens out to 0. The past years, unnamed people have been pulled from Shibuya. Ooh. That's what I think. Life is a balance between fun and sorrow. It all evens out to 0, and it's not a bad life, but for most people, it's net negative. Coming out to 0 is the best we can hope for. I mean, life is not a zero-sum game. It doesn't need to be. So what is death then? Beyond a thing that no man can avoid. It's not a minus, of course. It's not a plus either. It evens out to 0. It evens out to nothing at all. Needed being gold. I'd say they were chosen because they were unneeded. Fantastic. The first great Coaling's Earthquake 6 years ago, and the new generation incidents that were what foretold it. What is the how do you foretell a coaling? Why would you foretell a coaling? If you're just gonna coal people for some reason, why would you try to tell people it's happening? Wouldn't you just do it? I'm just saying. Shibuya is now like it was just 60 years ago. God would come once again to coal the unneeded. Soon the stickers are God, then the city will soon be covered them once more. So the only people that has... That's the thing. That's the thing about it. There might even be something going on here, but the only people that are going to foretell a coaling are those that feel as though they have some grand purpose and they're trying to prove to themselves that they have a grand purpose, right? It's not that there's actually a grand purpose that they're trying to achieve. It's that they're trying to give themselves purpose. Because you don't need to foretell a coaling. Let's assume that that even makes that semblance of sense of the coaling part of it. you don't foretell a calling, you just go fucking do it. If you feel the need to foretell a calling, let's go under the assumption that someone did foretell it. That would imply that someone, not that there actually was a need for it, but someone believed there was a need for it and they went out and did it on some delusional tangent that they were trying to give themselves purpose, right? Let's say that's what happened in the first game or something like that. If that is, this is such an interesting, a sort of out of left field post relative to these other ones. I actually feel as though this will probably be relevant in some capacity. But that's the thing about that. Just because I saw that title, it evens out to 0. It's so different than everything else in this entire article. It's actually very interesting that it's there. Okay.
あれ尾上さんじゃんだったの有村
Next time, we'll talk to Arimura, and I will probably talk a little bit less. I have been talking more than I have in a while, actually, with a lot of not very good speculation, but hey, hopefully it's interesting. As I wander in the dark with blinders on, what's happening? What's happening? And then I put my hand in a bear trap. So next time, watch me put my hand in a bear trap. I'll see y'all then. Drive safely, everyone. Where is she? She's been here like there she is. Is that Serica? I think that's Serica. I think so. These backgrounds I've noticed are basically, it's just her face. Whenever there's anything but like the sumo stickers and like this window. Like it came up right here when I opened it for the first time. Say butterfly, a bunch of other mentions. There it is. I just like went to save and I just saw her eyes just like almost like creepily staring at me. It's like, whoa, what the hell? And I was like, what the? Are there other characters that show up in it? And I haven't found any. It's just that I feel as though it's probably, I don't even know what this is. But I don't know, that caught me off guard. But yeah, see y'all next, stop staring at me. See y'all next time. Drive safely, everyone.